This is Lord of the Rings Online, and here I'm trying to reach the max level 160 on all 12 classes in the game on the max landscape difficulty level 9. The catch, all of my characters have 1 life. However, every 10 level starting at 20 earns a revive. In the last episode, we utilized farming and the 19th anniversary XP game boost to reach level 20 on my burglar, to revive not only my minstrel but also my Bjorning, returning my account to 12 active characters. In this episode, I'll level my lore master to 20, explore the beautiful landscape of Swan Fleet, and hunt down the 6 biggest and baddest enemies in the region. Will I reach level 20 or will the Shadow take another of my characters? Our adventure, like the last, starts in Mossworth, the starting quest hub for Swan Fleet. I rode around scouting, retrieving, and following the main quest line until I reached level 7. And at level 7 I unlocked a bunch of gear that I had crafted for myself, greatly increasing every stat I have. And with this stat increase, it was time to take on the Howling Stones and the Warg lurking within. So I walked around demolishing everything in my path, grabbing all my King's Foil, and then effectively stunting on the Warg, which is supposed to be a challenging encounter. Now you're probably wondering, Hazken, this is meant to be a level 9 challenge mode. Did you forget to put it on level 9? And the answer is no. We're on level 9. I was just as confused when starting to play my lore master. You see, I'm running the blue line, which primarily focuses on increasing the power of your pet and giving you as the lore master skills to buff and heal your pet, while also debuffing the enemy. So essentially, I have a roided out bear that I can heal at will, give honeypots to make him more threatening to the enemy so he draws aggro, pet skills that I can use on command to stun and pull aggro. This class is broken! While yes, it does have some weak spots in certain situations, which will come to light later, in essentially any controlled fight, I can sit back with a drink in hand while my bear lays the beat down. And for the sake of explanation, Redline, you're role-playing Gandalf sending out all sorts of damaging magic, as this is the primary DPS line for group play, but your pet is a timed summon that doesn't tank near as well. And Yell line, which is the primary support trait line for raid groups used for debuffing enemies, crouch control effects, and buffing allies, pretty much your non-primary heal support in raids. It could be good, but it's more so made to support other players and not the pet or yourself. It's pretty clear that out of the 3, blue line is the go-to for solo play, which we need for this challenge. With all that out of the way, I just reached level 9 and it's time to take on the ruffian camp of Radlaw. Traversing my way through, I systematically aggro solos or small groups one at a time so I can keep the focus on my bear and kite out any of the enemies that my bear doesn't pull. However, this plan starts to fall apart when there's ranged mobs like these guys. I can't get my bear to aggro both and I don't have a ton of room to maneuver. And this gets worse, I accidentally pull a 3rd ranged mob. Now I have constant pressure on myself where I can't focus on supporting my bear. And because of this forced disengagement, my bear dies, leaving me in a 1v3 versus 3 archers. A worst case scenario for me. I managed to get a resummon off, but I haven't unlocked the AoE roar yet, which would pull aggro of all the enemies. So they get some shots off, leaving me at 22 HP, forcing me to fully disengage and reset. Despite being super powerful, situations like this one with multiple ranged enemies are a super weak point because I can't tank hits very well. But after repopping buffs and healing up, I re-engage the camp a little more tactically. I clear out all the spaced out additional mobs so I have room to kite, and then focus on getting my bear aggro of both archers early so I can properly DPS them down and buff my bear so he can handle the pressure. And doing so leveled me to 10, where I unlocked an induction interrupt skill. Inductions are skills the enemy casts that have a charge up period, indicated by this orange spitty symbol on the ground. When I cast that light skill, it interrupts the cast, essentially wasting all the time they were charging, giving me some respite from damage for the time they were charging, and it saves me from whatever nasty effects the charge skill might have inflicted. So I continue my way through the camp, taking out all the ruffians, saving the poor caged hobbits, and hitting a quick mountainside scoop, until I reach the peak, where I take out the watch captain and his lackeys, save the last hobbit, and teleport out back to Mossworth to avoid having to fight respawn enemies to get out. At Mossworth, I turn in some quests, some tasks, which are basically junk item retrieval quests you can passively complete for region reputation and some XP, and with my quest turned in, I ventured forth to the next quest hub, taking in the sights along the way. The next quest hub is Lotro. Here, I pick up some silly hobbit quests like shooing shrews away, and I had to deal with some crows that were close by, when a shadowy wraith spawns. If you recall from earlier episodes, this guy is the perpetual evil I have to deal with while leveling, because I'm doing this challenge on the legacy server of Angmar. I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm super strong in single enemy fights, so I might be able to fight him on my lore master. and he's immediately wrecking my bear. And changes targets to me when I heal him? That can't happen. I can't really take any of these hits. I'm gonna disengage to force him to re-attack my bear. And my bear's dead already. And he somehow manages another hit on me. From all the way back there, that's crazy. I have to run. I can't handle him yet. I do think at some point I will be able to take him out on my Lore Master, but this will be a very, very tough fight. I just need some more stuns, more supporting abilities to keep my bear alive, and most importantly, that corruption removal to get rid of this minus 70% incoming damage buff. But as that won't be for quite a few levels, I rode down to Glen Helig, yet another hobbit town. Here, I get a quest to go back to the ruffian camp of Radlaw, take out 12 of those guys, and come back to prove I'm a good guy. Which I do, and on my way back, I hit a quest for Lintrev and get a nice necklace for my empty slot. And then return and discover the town portion of Glen Helig, where I get a quest to investigate a dark shadow growing in the eastern wetlands and woods beyond. And after reaching level 13, completing the main quest line, I set out under the light of the moon. Here, I discover a corrupted bear. I quickly dispatch of him, and after turning in, I'm tasked with finding the cause of the shadow, so we might counteract it before it affects any more creatures in the area. Along the way, I remember to equip my level 12 crafted gear, giving me a much needed stat boost, and I set out for Cobbs Hollow. Cobbs Hollow is a dark, twisted forest, tangled with spiders and webs around every tree, and I have to traverse this area grabbing all of these plants. Combat Scoop. If I'm careful, this is easy enough, but this area has some tricks. Attacking this queen activates a spawn trap, spawning in tons of spiders to chase me down, and I can't get my bear to take aggro. I'm forced to kite, and I'm webbed. I'm able to channel this large heal as my bear comes in, and so does his other bear. Very nice of him to pop a little heal on me. Thank you, Mr. Bjorning. And with that queen defeated, I continue grabbing all my corrupted plants until I spawn a wraith. And trying to avoid these spiders, I end up aggroing him. And I get rooted by one of the spiders. I pop my potion, but I have to run somehow. I gotta weave through these trees. I barely make it out with my life. Wraiths plus spiderwebs are a horribly dangerous combo, but the job isn't done. Back into the webs. Grabbing my second to last plant, I attack another queen, triggering another spawn trap. I now have 5 spiders and the queen, and I'm webbed in place. I'm kiting as much as I can with my run speed boost, and I'm trying to take out a couple of these spiders, but it's no use. More and more just keep piling up on me. I have to pulse heal through, but I can only hold this for so long. I have to disengage yet again. I pop my run speed boost feather I got from a hobbit present, and I'm dipping out of here. This place is so dangerous. But the job isn't done. I need one more. So I delve back in once again. And this time when aggroing the queen, I was able to only pull 3 extra mobs. Score! With some careful positioning, well-timed heals, and an induction interrupt, I finished them off, grabbed my last Colt's Foot, and ride home. I had survived Cobbs Hollow. After turning in, we make a draught to counteract the shadow that I placed where I found the bear. But I'm also tasked with returning to the woods to take out the corrupted queen. And searching deep within the woods, I find her. This spider looks crazy. Glowing eyes, thick, spiky, and purple. I double check my buffs and send out a fireball. Luckily for me, this queen doesn't aggro a billion other spiders, so I'm able to sit back and let my bear tank the fight. That was a massive spider. Victorious yet again. And I turn in and level up to 14. And with my new trait point, I slot it into Bird Mastery so I can summon a lesser eagle. Checking his skills, I find Sacrifice. This is a crazy skill. If I pop this skill for 15 seconds, if I die, my bird will instantly revive me to 50% HP, which would save my run. Unfortunately, aside from this one skill, it doesn't have that much that will help surviving fights, but this is a massive discovery. I hope to figure out a way to use this one day, or, well, hopefully I'm never put in that situation, but it'll happen one day surely. Next up on the to-do list is the Uruk-hai camp of Sharmakal. Here I get to test out my new eagle, taking out the Uruks here and breaking their siege equipment. After a little testing, the eagle, while decent for damage output, isn't able to aggro near as well as the bear, which leaves me quite vulnerable. I may be able to save myself from dying, but I'm also closer to dying each fight by not having my bear to tank. So I swapped back to my bear to finish out the camp. And I made my way to the top with my bear to loot one of the treasure caches. And nothing good from this one. So I ride out, port to Mossward, turn in, ride to Lintrev, turn in, and finally head to Longarn to help out these fine people. And catching a fish levels me to 15, which unlocks my raven summons I had crafted on my jeweler. Unfortunately, the skills on ravens aren't anything special, so I won't use it much, if at all, but the frost raven at least looks super cool. I also unlocked a skill that allows me to break out of any crowd control effects like stuns, dazes, or even roots like in Cobbs Hollow. That would have been nice to have. Eventually, I come upon the Longarn scouts and help them out with their duties, collecting nightshade, taking out the wargs, and finding water. After that, I get to fight these Dragluth warriors. Unfortunately, I'm a little over level for these guys, otherwise this would be some really tough fights. But after helping the scouts, I return to Longarn to turn in some quests. I help out with salting some fish, which levels me to 16, and then I set out for the swamps to hunt Avonks. And with those quests finished up, I head to the elf and ranger camp of Ekaterthus. Here, I'm tasked with entering the ruined city of Karaskalebrun and defeating its new residents. This place is full of chests to scoop up. They're everywhere! I can just have my bear tank the group of enemies while I walk up and loot away. I wish I could never leave this place. 3 in one building? So after grabbing so many chests and filling my bags with loot, I turn in and head north to defeat some wargs, leveling to 17. But before heading north, I drop back into the swamp to finish a quick Slayer quest. And with my new saber-tooth tiger I got from leveling up, I find Stoneback, a rare elite mob. A challenge I can't pass up. Close call in the beginning, my saber-tooth tiger takes aggro, and I'm able to finish off the great beast, marking the first of 6 rare creatures wandering the wilds of Swan Fleet. And I plan to defeat all 6 before moving on to Cardolan. But before going full hunter mode, I want to finish all the quests in the map, taking out Uruks, carrying home buckets of water, and doing so levels me to 18, unlocking a massive skill, the 4th commandable skill for my summons. This 4th skill on my bear is a ranged area of effect with roar that pulls aggro from everything in the area. This will be huge in keeping ranged mobs off of me, and even better, my Raven's 4th skill is a buff that gives me shadow mitigation and more health. This buff I can pop before fighting a wraith, swap to my bear to tank, and boom, I have a crazy counter to his shadow damage and my bear to tank the battle. The more I level, the more even these odds against the wraith are getting. Also, with my trait point, I spec into another heal, so now I have additional healing for my bear, making him that much more tanky. Feeling stronger than ever, I head to the Uruk camp to test my mettle. And it doesn't take long to get myself in some trouble. I attack this archer, but there's weird pathing in this camp, and my bear aggroes a ton of enemies, and this archer locks onto me. He almost takes me out because I can't do my heal without line of sight of my bear, so I quickly shift and get it off just in time. And after calling my bear to help me, we're able to take them all out. Deeper in the camp, I take out the solo archer and I spawn a wraith. With my newfound power, I decide to give it a shot. And my bear's dead instantly. Luckily, he doesn't have quick feet like me. So after rebuffing, I come back into the camp and re-aggro him because his aggro radius is massive. And turning to fight, my bear dies instantly again. So I slow him and disengage again. And I reapproach from a different angle using cover to not aggro him, and instead I get caught between two archers. After that quick scare, I defeat them and I'm able to get by and finish my quest to search the debris and defeat the Uruks. Heading over to the wood troll area, I discover my last peril of Swan Fleet, earning me some much needed virtue XP. Virtue XP is super hard to get in Swan Fleet because all of the XP earned is at the end of all the major deeds, very unlike the plentiful deeds and virtue XP of Radlaw or Breland. So I'll happily take whatever XP I can get here. The quest rewards here though are much better, giving me jewelry to fill my empty slots with stats, but the lack of virtues definitely hurts. I'll have to farm up my virtues in other maps as I level. Finishing up my wood troll quest, I grabbed this treasure cache on the way home, which rewards me with some top-notch food. This is equivalent to the best food that I can craft, which gives me hope for another challenge I have in mind. So I turn in, have to go back to the Uruk camp, almost die to another wraith I spawn, investigate the warg cages, and head up north to defeat the warg master, finishing the last quest in the region. But this leaves me at level 18, so I decide to ride around the whole map collecting every treasure cache, doing every discovery deed, reach level 19 by turning in my last main storyline quest in Swan Fleet, getting a massive damage stat boost for my weapon, and it's here at the last treasure cache I decide to take on all the trophy monsters in the map.
Introducing your challengers! First up, Gnaw! Gristbite! Boss. Champion, Drindle!
Alright guys, I'm gonna level with ya. This tree is a rare elite master. Mobs like this are meant to be taken on by groups of players in normal mode. The thought of taking this guy on solo, on level 9, is insane. And I considered this for a long while sitting here. This guy has over 6 times my health. I know for a fact he will hit extremely hard, and he breaks targeting for my bear randomly. I know this from fighting similar trees earlier. They'll shift their focus from my bear to me and I can't control it. Every logical decision maker in my mind is telling me to tuck tail and run. Go to Cardolan, level up to 20. This is not a fight I should be taking in a challenge like this. But then, different voices rose up. This fight would be the greatest challenge. If I could defeat this boss, not only will it fill me with triumph, but the content would be incredible. Hazken, the trophy hunter of Swan Fleet. A title not just given for novelty, but truly earned. And so with that last thought in my mind, I engage. I stun him early with my bear's ability, forcing aggro onto my bear. But just then he turns and smacks me for almost half my health with a ranged root attack. It's moments like this that are going to make this fight extremely difficult. So I continue the attack, buffing my bear to the max, trying to keep his health topped off. And Dridolf crits and smacks my bear for half his HP, killing him outright. I quickly disengage, resummon my bear, and redouble our attack. But my bear doesn't have aggro. But just before I get hit, I get my bear's roar off, turning the tree off of me. But not even a few seconds later, he kills my bear again. And as I resummon, Drindolf smacks me with another root attack. I decided to tank it and just pop a Tiki potion because I need to get my bear's defensive buffs up. And my bear's stun is back off cooldown, so I stun Drindolf, allowing me to stack my bear's boons back up. But he doesn't turn, and he throws his bees on me, a Tiki that I can't cleanse, and just have to eat the damage of. And to make matters worse, Drindolf is coming after me. Drindolf is catching up, and my bear can't take the aggro back, so I stance up and channel my heal to give my bear a chance to take back the aggro. And I get smacked for 80% of my HP as my heal finishes. But I get the stun off. I create as much distance as possible, but I don't want to run. Not yet. I'm out of self-healing, but my bear should have aggro now, so I turn to keep on the assault. And as I send out my last heal to my bear, Drindolf turns. That slight turn, I knew it was too late. I should have ran when I had the chance. As I turned in the hopes to evade, to get away, to survive, Drindolf throws his bees on me. And here I knew it was over. I was defeated.